Hey everybody, today is Spooky Day. It's October 31st, and we will be looking at October 30th MTG stocks. Let's see, no big movements today, just kind of got like a 70% increase and some other things, so nothing too spectacular. But let's go look at the first biggest card here. We got Wind Slash. It is a 1 mana instant, ferocious. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, damage cannot be prevented this turn, and then Wind Slash deals 2 damage to target creature or player. So I mean, it's uncommon. It's nothing like spectacular. But I mean, it seems pretty good. I mean, it's basically shock. It's basically shock, but better, especially for the fact that damage can't be prevented. So it's not just this card; it's actually any card. I think it's actually a pretty good card, and I understand why it's kind of increasing. Also, kind of noticing this recently that so this is like a Fate Forged, I believe. I've seen lots of Khans of Tarkir stuff, and etc. So I heard that set was not really well received, but it's kind of funny seeing the card prices kind of increasing. So it usually works, right? But not a bad card for sure. Let's see. Then we have Galta Primal Hunger. It's gone up a little bit. So this is a 10 mana green, or 10 colorless green, legendary creature, Elder Dinosaur. He's a 12/12 trample, but the best thing about him, of course, is he costs X less, where X is the total power of creatures you control. So if you have, even if you have like, you don't even have to think about like big creatures. If you have a whole bunch of like little mana dorks, like if you have Orwin Elf and some other stuff, each one basically decreases the cost by 1 or whatever. So this could really get out of control quickly. And he's a big old dinosaur, so how could you not go wrong? You can make him a commander as well, of course, since he's legendary. But my brother has said that someone did this, and then as soon as he puts this guy out, he's the immediate target and threat, which makes a lot of sense. And then he kind of wonders why he's getting targeted down. Well, when you have a 12/12 trample out on turn like 3, that's probably why. But neat card. I like it. Clockwork Avian. This one wasn't like too much of an increase. So you notice this is like it's going to be it's $11 now. It's up to $12-ish. But it's mostly just because of the old set here. You can get this like for like 12 cents. So that probably tells us not a great card. So it's Clockwork Avian, 5 colorless, artifact creature, bird, I believe is the errata text there. And it is a 0/4 flying that you put 4+1+0 counters on it, because they just like to be weird back then. Then after it attacks or blocks, discard a counter. So basically remove a counter. During his or her upkeep, the controller may buy back lost counters for 1 per counter. This taps Avian. So basically, the errata text is basically pay X, tap Avian, put it up to no more than. You can't have more than 4+1+0 counters. So if you only had +1, only 1+1+0 counter, then you can put 3 on him, but you can't do any more than that. It's not a very good card, but I just thought it interesting that this card is worth so much, just mostly because of how old it is. And that's for like alpha and beta too, of course, but it isn't the alpha or beta, so I just thought it was kind of interesting. I like looking at the old cards too. Soul Flare. This is a 4 colorless, 2 black creature demon for 4, and it has Delve and Delve mechanic. Each card you exile from your graveyard while casting the spell pays for 1 colorless. So basically, if you exile 4 cards, he costs 4 less. If the creature card with flying was exiled with Soul Flare's Delve ability, he has flying. And that goes for First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Haste, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. So basically, he just becomes a huge menacing creature. If you were to ever really make use of this went up to like a couple of bucks. This was just kind of down in the weekly increases, not a daily increase today. But you really want to get that hexproof indestructible, and then flying and something else if possible. But I think the hexproof indestructible just makes him very annoying to deal with. It kind of reminds me of Rayami. He kind of has the same idea, except for Rayami is a very good way just to get exile creatures or have a very menacing 5/5 creature, basically. Let's see here. Omnath, Locus of the Royal. I want to kind of show this one because this one actually decreased. This one decreased from like $8 to $7 or something like that. But he is a one colorless green, blue, red, or I believe that's Temir. Legendary creature elemental. He's a 3/3, and then when he enters the battlefield, it deals damage to any target equal to the number of elementals you control. So at minimum, he does 1 damage. If you have 4 elementals, he does 4 damage to any target. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target elemental you control. So you can either put on Omnath or you can put on other elementals. And if you control 8 or more lands, draw a card. So this card is just neat in general because it has a lot of things. As a commander, you can be a landfall deck, or you can just have heavy elemental tribal in the sense of you're just going to put as many elementals as you can and keep doing damage with Omnath and etc. etc. I like this card a lot because there's actually like 3 Omnaths now, I believe. You have, I think it's mono green originally, and then he went to green red or Gruul, and he was like a landfall creature. Now you have green, blue, red, and so I'm just waiting for either green, blue, red, white, or black, and then eventually Wooburg. But yeah, he's a cool creature. I just kind of show the chart here on MTG stock. So see that he's basically, at first he was and then he shot up to like $15, and then kind of over time he's been getting down more and more. I just want to kind of point this out with cards in general. So I guess MTG or M20 came out July. Now it's October-ish. So these cards after 4-ish months, let's see, July, August, September, October, 3-4 months, you'll start seeing that all the cards kind of in the set go down kind of dramatically. Like you watch Modern Horizons at all recently, you'll see like a ton of cards have gone down. So that's kind of just something to think about. If you don't need a card immediately, potentially waiting is good. Now you also have the off chance where it reverses, and then you're like, oh no, this card that was like $2 is now $20, and that's no bueno. But kind of a risk you take while waiting. But usually, like, it seems like about 90% of the time, it feels like they go down, just as something I've seen over time. Anyways, so this is kind of our random commander for the day. This is Lazav, Dimir Mastermind. I want to kind of point this guy out. He's blue, black, legendary creeper shapeshifter. He's a 3/3. He has hexproof, and then whenever a creature card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, so that means if you discarded him or from the field or from his deck or whatever, you can have him become a copy of that card, except he's still Lazav, and it's a legendary in addition to its other types, and it gains hexproof, and it gains this ability. So basically you can keep switching him to whatever creature. So if you have one creature like, that creature's not that good, I want this other creature, you can keep doing that. I think it's just a very fun card that can get pretty neat. You either have a little bit of control, or what I like to do is I have a little bit of control. I've made one of these as a super budget deck. Like, I think I originally started at about $30, and now it's probably gone to about $40, only because price increases over time. But he's just neat for the fact that I think probably the best play I've had with him is someone summoned he's like a 16/16 indestructible worm or something. I can't remember right now, but I countered it, and then Lazav becomes a 16/16 indestructible hexproof creature, and it is no bueno for a lot of people when you do that. But yeah, there's a lot of fun things that you can do with him. Yeah, I just want to kind of point him out. He just, like, budget or not budget, there's ways to either build a copy deck, which actually mine is a copy mill deck basically, and you can put win conditions like Laboratory Maniac and stuff in there, or you can do budget's pretty easy with this guy. So just want to point out Lazav. This is the older Lazav, I believe. There is a new Lazav that came out in Guilds of Ravnica, but this is the older one. Here's kind of our random card for the day. Not our random card, but my other random non-legendary creature card. So I like this card mostly because I love the art on this, having the kind of like having that full art sorta there. But it's not a bad card for sure. It is called Languish. It is 2 colorless, black. It's a sorcery. All creatures get -4/-4 until end of turn. And it's a good board clear. It gets rid of most things. I'd probably say like you're looking at around 75 to 100% of the stuff on the board, depending on what you're fighting. But the other good thing about this is if you have defenders or a high toughness deck in general, then Languish would basically potentially clear out all your opponents and hopefully keep most of your creatures. So Languish could actually really help you if you build around it in a deck. Just thought it's a neat card, and I love the art. And then I wanted to, since it's Spooky Day, I wanted to show at least one spooky card, and this is All Hallows Eve. It says 2 colorless, black. And this card is like $300, so good luck on that if you want to buy it. But anyways, put 2 counters on this card. Remove a counter during your upkeep. When you remove the last counter from All Hallows Eve, all players take all creatures from their graveyard and put them directly into play. Treat these creatures as though they were just summoned. You choose what order they come into play. That's kind of neat. I just the like old art here is that like it's kind of funny because you got like this little janky pumpkin, and then you have like I guess a gargoyle up here, and then you have this spooky ghost. And the like eroded version of this is that you exile it with 2 scream counters on it, and then you do all the other stuff, bring back your creatures, bring all creatures back basically. Seems like an appropriate card to kind of show off. And then we'll end tonight with a couple of random cards. Random card number 1. Okay, well, just go back. We already seen Plains on Heels. Right, random card number 1.5. All right, Kamigawa, Tide of War. 4 colorless, double red, enchantment. Whenever one or more creatures blocks, flip a coin. Oh boy, flip coin mechanics. If you win the flip, defending player sacrifices all walking creatures. Otherwise, the attacking player sacrifices the attacking player sacrifices the blocked creatures. Oh man, whew. Talk about risky. What's funny is that he's going, oh, that's interesting, because you can actually, if you're not even a creature-based deck, you could use this card as a way to deter your opponents from either attacking each other. I guess at that point it'd actually be bad, because if people decided to attack other people, then they just attack you if you have no creatures. So it's probably an awful card, but it's an interesting card nonetheless, and I like it. I've never seen this card before. Neat. All right, let's do random card number, I guess technically 3. Curio Vendor. Wow. We have a 1 colorless, 1 blue creature Vindalkin. And it's a 2/1 vanilla. Good stuff. See, step right up. Try your hand. It'll thrill the sense and boggle the mind. All right. Kind of a anticlimactic ending there, but hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. I will make a note here before I do that. I will not be posting a video in 2 days because I'll be out of town. I'll probably post one Sunday, which will be, I think, the 3rd. Yeah, hopefully I can do date math. But all right, you guys have a good one, and see you next time.